Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Nick here, and welcome back to the channel. Today on All Costumes Ranked, we're going to be looking at the legendary Chinese fighter and first lady of the Street Fighter series, Chun-Li. Now let's be real here, this character probably needs no real proper introduction. Many of you probably already know who she is, and she's probably the most iconic Street Fighter or fighting game character next to Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That many people know who she is. She was the first Street Fighter character I knew of before I even knew who Ryu and Ken even were. This fighter with a beautiful spring name has made such an everlasting impact on not only fighting games, but gaming as a whole, helping pave the way for more lady fighters to join the entire series, and also a wonderful, inspiring icon to never skip leg day. Crazy enough, after having a legacy of nearly 40 years, her designs have been pretty consistent if you look at all of the mainline titles. That is until Street Fighter 4 and 5 came around and introduced a bunch of alternate designs. This All Costumes Ranked episode is now examining 38 Chun-Li designs. Kikosh, oh my goodness, that is so much to cover. Also, to make this video go by a little bit faster, I'm going to do a little lightning round for a few of the designs and just quickly talk about what I like or dislike about the designs. So let's waste no time and Spinning Bird kick right into ranking all 38 of Chun-Li's designs from the worst to the best. Starting things off with an easy target, a terrible game Garrett of Grand Finals Entertainment introduced me to a few years ago. Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Heads up, this is the only multimedia tie-in we're looking at, and I also find this design to be the worst of all 38 of Chun-Li's designs. First off, why does this game exist? Secondly, it's just bland red. Now sure, the design has more detail in the movie, but when digitized into the 16-bit era, it really doesn't translate well, and a lot of the detail and design is lost. I'm really confused on why they didn't go with the, traditional Chun-Li look and try to translate it better. They turned one of the most iconic fighting game characters of all time and turned her into a character you'd see in the background of a stage. Now, no disrespect to Ming-Na Wen at all, she's fine in this movie, just the design is just a huge missed opportunity. Why they just didn't translate the Street Fighter 2 look into live action is beyond me. For all of its faults and how it was poorly executed, this is the worst Chun-Li design. Not Evo number 37 goes to the Red Bull collaboration costume. Now I'll admit that this design does look pretty cool. I do like the fuzzy jacket, the red ponytail, and red pants, but this looks more like an original character and not Chun-Li. This looks more like a knockoff Crimson Viper instead. Now you can make the argument saying it's supposed to look different because it's a one-off collaboration, but maybe next time do something that makes it feel more unique and fitting to the character. Thank goodness these games got better with collaborations down the line. I'm looking at you, Espa and Jury in Street Fighter 6. Please, more of that and less of this. Guess you can say this one caffeine crashed out, landing at number 37. Number 36, and we've got her pajamas design, and this one just looks really off. For some reason, it reminds me of her swimsuit design, except it's pink, her hair is down, and it kind of looks like she's wearing a bib around her waist. Personally, I feel like this is a big missed opportunity, and I wish that she got some fun onesie or something like that. Or if they wanted to do a callback to the animated movie, have her wear her nightgown when she fought Vega. Honestly, this one makes me want to put some pajamas on because it's just putting me to sleep with how boring it is. Number 35, and why does Chun-Li have a school uniform design? Not only is this just weird in concept, this design already looks weird with how it clips with her model, and the concept of Chun-Li schoolgirl is just puzzling to me. And if you enjoy that, that's okay. I'm not king shaming you. The professional design isn't terrible, but it doesn't do anything to help make it stand out compared to other suit and tie costumes other fighters have from time to time. I just find this to be visually boring. It really doesn't retain anything that Chun-Li is known for. Quite honestly, this could be given to any of the lady fighters. It's just that bland and generic. Okay, Capcom, why are you reminding me of my least favorite Legacy Mortal Kombat character with this design? I understand what they're trying to go for with Special Forces Chun-Li, strongly showcasing more of her police side. But at the same time, it doesn't make me think of Chun-Li, and this looks like a generic police uniform. Maybe except for the midriff this design has. Still, this just looks pretty bland and looks like generic police officer clothing. And side note, sorry, a sexy Striker cosplay won't get me to like Striker. From one cop design to another, we've got Undercover Cop. Honestly, it's a unique take to see Chun-Li in street clothing, but it makes her really come off as a world tour character wearing normal clothes. It looks extremely generic and bland. If they wanted to do something to make it pop or make it feel more like Chun-Li, maybe put her hair in the buns or something, or give her bracelets but tone them down a little bit. You know, give her some Chun-Li element. Coming in at number 31, we've got one of many cosplay designs, this being Jun from Star Gladiator in Street Fighter V. Looking at the Star Gladiator art, this did translate well, just the problem is this costume just looks extremely goofy and weird, especially with the knees. Like, what the hell is even that? But after looking at the roster from Star Gladiator, Jun was the right pick for Chun-Li. Both of their costumes have some similar elements here and there, so I can see why they chose her. Not a bad design, it just looks interesting. I really don't know what else to say. At number 30, we're looking at Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. For a costume that's appeared in a lot of Chun-Li's endings, it's weird that a Marvel vs. Capcom game gave us this design. Costume 2 is her casual wear, first seen in her ending in Hyper Street Fighter 2. She is wearing this outfit underneath it. Now in the ending of Hyper 2, it looks really good, but the problem is when you translate that design into Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, it just looks really off. For some reason, her legs are massive and it makes her head look really small. The proportions are just all out of whack, giving this a awkward look. I would really like to see this design come back in Street Fighter 6, as many of the designs in that game have been ported or translated very well, and maybe it could shine bright knowing that it's in a better styled game. Guess you can say this one is not Hyper. From one crossover to another, we're looking at Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I had no idea this costume existed, and after looking at it, I just go, that was a choice? Her maid design just makes her come off like she's actually from Duke Nukem Forever, and no, that's not a compliment at all. Also, for whatever reason, she looks more like Ling Xiaoyu. Actually, the more I look at this, it really doesn't feel like Chun-Li at all. The only things that make me think that this is her is the fact that she has the buns and that she has some blue and gold here and there. Yeah, I don't know what this design is, and honestly, let's just move on. Moving into our third crossover already, looking at the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid Angel Grove Class of 93 design. Some of this design I like, but there's a lot of it that kinda holds it back for me. For one, I love how this design retains some of the classic Chun-Li elements, such as the hair, bracelets, and even the leggings. There's plenty of other stuff in this design that's holding it back. I really don't like the top, and I don't really like the skirt that much either. Now, I understand they're trying to pay tribute to Power Rangers, but I think the shirt looks a little too bland if you ask me. I feel like a lot of the energy and effort went into her primary design, which we'll get to much later. But for now, this one's just fine. Back into mainline Street Fighter titles at number 27 with the BCRF, also known as the Breast Cancer Research Foundation design. Now visually, this has a lot going on. Pink takes up a bunch of the design, there's a lot of shades of it throughout the entire costume, and they make some very questionable decisions with the design, giving her some puffy sleeves, but giving her tight leggings from her original look, but giving her some armor to go on top of her quads and shins, along with a lot of loose straps on the jacket. Personally, I think there's way too much of the same shade of pink. If they managed to mix it up a little bit, I think I would have liked it more. However, this design goes towards a good cause, as Capcom would donate 100% of the proceeds to breast cancer research. So this may not be a goated design, but that's a totally goated move. Not gonna lie, I wish more games would actually do an approach like this, and I'd love to see more fighting games do something like this. We're already a tight-knit community, so I think we can do a lot of good. At number 26, let's look at her tracksuit design from Street Fighter V. Now sure, this is just an athletic tracksuit that everyone in the roster has, but I do like how it has some of the Chun-Li elements added to this design, such as the blue pants and the white strap-on shoes, two of her iconic colors of her base design. And I even like how it does something a little bit different. Instead of her regular bracelets, they give her some sweatbands on her wrists instead. That's honestly a fun touch. And if you wanted to give the tracksuit more visual flair, well, that's when we get to number 25 5 with the Street Fighter League Pro JP costumes. These designs are already extremely similar, just the big differences are you're representing actual esports teams. Now, since they're all the exact same design, just having Street Fighter down on the leg and even the jacket, just the major differences between each of them is the color, I just thought I'd lump them all into one. It's really cool that Capcom did something like this, and I hope we see more of this in Street Fighter 6. Oh, and speaking of mentioning pro players, ever wanted to take your fighting game experience to the next level? Well, today's sponsor, MadCatz, is here to help with their brand new controller, the Neko all-button arcade controller. This fierce kitty is MadCat's entry into the leverless controller market, a real game changer for players seeking maximum precision and an ergonomic advantage. I'll be honest, I was a bit intimidated by going all-button, but I quickly adjusted after a round or two, quickly getting into rhythm and performing Hadokens and Hisatsu Shinobis with no issue. It feels that natural and easy to use. Thanks to this being designed in collaboration with the Japanese FGC community, the Neko features an ergonomically positioned faceplate, ensuring optimal comfort and hand placement for extended sessions. Not only does this slim beast sit comfortably on my lap during sessions, this also stores very easily. With 18 buttons, including 4 programmable ones, you have an easy array of input options at your fingertips. A key highlight of the Neko is its low-profile, hot swappable Kale mechanical switches, meaning you can customize the feel of each button to your exact preference and easily replace switches for longevity. Like their other controllers, this is also compatible with the PlayStation 4, PC, and Nintendo Switch, along with easy PS5 and Xbox Series X compatibility with a Brook or other third-party adapter. And don't just take my word for how great this thing is, as I connected with several pro FGC players in Michigan to test this out, and they loved this controller. To get your paws on this Neko, visit MadCatz.store now. The link is in the pinned comment and description of this video. Again, that's MadCatz.store. Again, a big thank you to MadCatz for sponsoring today's video. Your support truly means a ton to the channel. With that, let's spinning bird kick right into today's video. Let's get right back on track and look at her story mode design from Street Fighter V. It's cool to see Chun-Li rock her police officer uniform when she's a rookie cop. Really cool to see her retain some of the Chun-Li isms with the light blue collared uniform shirt, the blue pants, and even the white boots. I also love the fun addition of the utility belt with the speaker microphone at the bottom of her shirt. Of all of the police uniforms, I do like this one the most, and it doesn't feel over-designed like the tactical one, but it's a little bit more detailed than the undercover one. Not a whole lot else to say about this one. Like an officer, it plays it by the books. After all of this time, at number 23, we're finally looking at Street Fighter 4 with her alternate 4 or vacation design. Now we're getting into the era of weird and colorful designs. Yeah, this is meant to look pretty fun, but I think it's a little bit too extra. Like, I like the idea of the main color being white and green, but some other oddities in here just look a little interesting. Like, I even like the little teddy bear she has on her back, but the socks that go with this kind of clash with the color scheme. Honestly, I wish they just kind of streamlined the colors because it seems a bit extra. If they had managed to just stick with a white and green as the base color to this, I think I would have liked this one a lot more. The addition of the maroon and gold on one of the legs and the brown on the other leg kind of sets this one back for me. Again, there are a lot of things I like about it, but it's just kind of held back slightly. From one very colorful design to another, we're looking at alternate number 2 or the colorful dress. Now, there are plenty of things I really do like about this design. For one, I like how it avoids the usual blue that Chun-Li has, and it goes for more of an aqua color for the primary. Still retains the gold as a nice accent, and then you can see the secondary has some nice purple to it. I even like how she even has one leg fully exposed in this one, and the dress covers the other leg. I do admittedly think this one's slightly over-designed, especially when it comes to the hue on the sleeves, but I do like how it retains some classic Chun-Li stuff, such as the pattern on her torso. I'd love to see this get reimagined in Street Fighter 6. Seeing how it would look in the RE engine, that would be amazing. Flying right in with her alternate number 5 or the wild one from Street Fighter 4. Now, many of you are going to look at this and just go, why is she cosplaying the insult that Dee Reynolds gets in Always Sunny in Philadelphia? But actually, there's a little bit of lore to this one, possibly inspired by the vermilion bird of the south of Chinese lore. This goes for some phoenix designs, but also retains some Chun-Li elements. I do love how the feathers go around her waist and they flow out, and I even like the bird cap that she has. Maybe the beak could be slightly altered, and I don't love the the hair too much that's flowing down the sides. But I do love how she retains the base Chun-Li torso, going for a red and gold this time around, which I think looks beautiful. The other thing that I wish got a little bit of a rework were the feet. The claws as toes kinda look interesting, and I wish instead it had some feathers flowing with the boots instead. But I love the risk that they went with this one, and I love how they actually reference Chinese lore. Here's to hoping for more stuff like this down the line. I guess when you use this one, you can literally spinning bird kick your opponent. Entering the top 20 by looking at another cosplay design, this coming from Street Fighter V with the Morrigan design. Half of me just really likes this one just because it's Morrigan, but I do wish this design did something a little different than just literally wear Morrigan's design. Like, imagine if she had the bat wings on where the buns are, maybe have the traditional Chun-Li top but have it color coded, or even have a similar pattern to Morrigan's look. I don't know, I wish they got a little bit more creative than just give Morrigan's design to Chun-Li. Don't get that misconstrued that I don't like this design at all. I think it's cool that we get stuff like this. Just maybe if we do this again down the line, let's maybe update it and tweak it to make it fit the character a little bit better. Also, Capcom, if you're watching this, please bring back Darkstalkers. At number 19 and 18, we're gonna throw a little bit of a curveball and we're gonna look at Street Fighter Duel, the iOS game that I completely didn't know existed until writing this video. Street Fighter Duel has 3 exclusive designs for Chun-Li, and 2 of them are very identical, so I'm just gonna put them both right here. Those being Hydro Chun-Li and Flame Chun-Li. It seems to be like a weird mix between her base design and her battle outfit from Street Fighter 4 and 5. The biggest differences being she has leggings that stop before they get to her waistline, she has longer straps and her hair buns, and depending on which of the designs you have, the legging patterns are slightly different. And knowing my bias, Hydro Chun-Li is at number 19 and Flame Chun-Li is at 18 because I think the red looks a little bit better in this one. But I will admit purple as a primary color for Chun-Li is an interesting look. I just like the accent of Flame Chun-Li a little bit more. Guess you can say it's a bit hotter. At number 17, we're not done looking at Street Fighter Cross Tekken because we've got the swap costume we're looking at. In this game, every character has a design where they get to borrow elements from a character on the other side of the roster, and Chun-Li got a swap with Panda. Honestly, this design is just super cute. I love it. At first quick glance, it just looks like she's wearing a panda onesie, but the closer you examine it, you realize there's a lot of fun oddities they added to it. For one, you get to see the similar pattern in Chun-Li's base design put onto the panda suit. Instead of it being blue and gold, it's black and white. And I like with the panda hood, the ears actually double as her hair buns. Gotta love that attention to detail. And I like how the white boots are now black, mirroring Panda's fur pattern. But if there is one thing that they completely overlooked that I wish this design did, is that I wish Chun-Li's bracelets weren't black, but instead were pink, like Panda's. That easily would have placed it so many placements higher. Without that, it looks a little too monochromatic. But I'll have to admit, this is the most adorable Chun-Li design. Dare I say, unbearably adorable. Sparring in at number 16 with Chun-Li's training design in Street Fighter V. This design combines some of the looks of the battle dress and her default design, along with the addition of some athletic shoes and some sparring gloves. I think this design looks really cool, and I even like how it changes up the pattern on the dress. I just think it's trying really hard to be sexy, and in doing so, this kind of looks like a modded design that someone would make. Personally, I wish she just had some like black yoga pants instead or something like that. Overall, a pretty cool fusion dance of the battle and base look for Chun-Li with a little sprinkle of sexiness to it. At number 15, we've got alternate number 6 from Street Fighter 4, this being the horror design. This sees Chun-Li as the undead bride, which honestly is a pretty fun design for her. I love that it's just a tattered and torn bride dress, and she even has the dark skin, and I even like how the makeup is like running down her face. I even like how they avoided the buns this time around, and they kind of gave her that Bride of Frankenstein sort of look with her hair. The veil is a nice touch to it, and my favorite thing about this one is that when you see it in motion, it really flows nicely. We're near October, and Chun-Li really got in the spirit of the spooky season. At number 14, we've got costume number 3 from Street Fighter 6. 6. Wow, after all this time, we finally are looking at the newest installment of the franchise. This is quite a drastic rework of Chun-Li, and personally, I love it. She ditches the blue from her base design and instead goes for a gold and silver, with a small little accent of teal with her shoes, bracelets, and earrings. She retains the classic pattern from her base design on her torso, and I like that it has a little bit of a midriff that's a little bit obscured from her coat. On top of that, I even love how she has the bangs and she has long flowing hair with a nice little bun on the top. This honestly feels like she's having a fancy night out, way better than her formal look from Street Fighter V. And side note, I do love that her second color actually gives this more of the classic Chun-Li color palette, giving her the blue and gold. Overall, an amazing way to reinvent the character. At number 13, we've got the wedding design from Street Fighter V. This takes a lot of what I like about the horror design, but it just makes it more lively. The dress is a lot more flowy this time around, and the veil's missing, so you actually get to see Chun-Li's face. Also, this design has also been fitted to allow the use of her legs while kicking, and you might get a good look at the girder on her left thigh. I also appreciate the 2 flower veils and the ox horn hairstyle with this one. On top of that, the long gloves and the white heels just look really nice with this design. This was one of many designs made by Akumen, and he nailed it. And as the old saying goes, if you like the design, then you should have put a ring on it. Coming in at number 12, we've got Covert Operations from Street Fighter V. Yet another wonderful take on Chun-Li's battle costume. Now this has a lot more elegant flair to it, still retaining the black and gold from the battle outfit, but now it adds a lot more accessories to it, such as the big boa resting on her shoulders during combat, the more open shoes, and the accessories on her arms. Personally, when you put all this together, I think it looks wonderful. I even like how they differentiated it a little bit more from the regular battle outfit by putting Chun-Li's hair up. Personally, I love the inclusion of white to this color palette, as I think it's a wonderful accent to black and gold. Yet another amazing design by Akumen. This also looks like clothing you'd see in like a fashion runway. And did you guys know that Chun-Li's photogenic? Yeah, it's because she has all that frame advantage. Sorry, I had to make a bad joke there. Moving on. At number 11, we're getting into more of the fun costumes, looking at the vacation costume from Street Fighter V. Personally, I think it's cool that Street Fighter actually has this available as costumes for characters, and I just like this one overall. This is one of 3 Chun-Li swimsuit designs, 2 of them from Street Fighter V, and I like when you compare this to the other swimsuit design in this, there's a few differences here and there that make them stand out. For one, I love how she has the hair tied in the ox horns, and I love the blue ribbons that go with it, along with the blue flower in her hair. That's just a wonderful touch. And I like how she has a lot of blue in this one, and it still retains, instead of gold, it's more of a sand color accent. And I even like how they included the perio that matches her bikini colors. I even like how it just flows in the combat too. It's a nice, wonderful accent to this design. You could have just made this a very simple, solid bikini color, but I love how they added the pattern that really makes it feel like it's Chun-Li. And the inclusion of the hair buns, and even giving it the flower, that's just a nice touch. Evil Moment 37 surely had the Daigo Parry, but this one has the Daigo Perio. Cracking into the top 10 by looking at the other swimsuit design in Street Fighter V, that being the swimsuit design, or as I like to call it, Jabba's Palace Chun-Li. Seriously, this thing looks a lot like Slave Leia. And at the same time, I like how it does some differences here and there from the vacation one. I love the Cascade Blue 2-piece with jade bracelets on her wrists, and I love the addition of the sunglasses as the accessory. And I even like how it changes up her hair by giving her a ponytail with the long gold pin. Also, the perio is way more flashy in this one, and I'm a sucker for the pattern that's on it. Those reasons alone just edge out over the vacation design. Where the vacation one was very flashy, this one goes out and makes a splash, swimming into the top 10. Big surprise, but at number 9, we've got the final Street Fighter duel design, this being the athlete costume. I don't care what y'all say, this one's actually really good. For one, I'm a big sucker of the big jacket that she's wearing, and I love how they incorporate the typical dress pattern into a sports bra. On top of that, I like how they retain the colors, and instead of going for brown for the leggings, it goes for like a deep black all the way to like a teal blue. On top of that, I love the yellow straps that just hang off of the jacket, and I'm a sucker for the red earrings that she has. It's a nice minor detail that really does a lot to this design. Personally, I hope this becomes a design in Street Fighter 6, and I hope it doesn't remain as like a mobile only design, because if so, that would be so disappointing. Overall, a wonderful hidden gem of a design. At number 8, we've got our final crossover design, this being the Blue Phoenix design from Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. As someone who's never watched any Power Rangers media, I can't deny how awesome this design is. Whereas the high schooler design from this game is just meant to make her look like she's part of Angel Grove class of 93, this actually does something cool by bringing the elements of the Chun-Li we know and mixing it with the Power Ranger. They easily could have gotten lazy and just gave her a Blue Ranger suit, but they went above and beyond, retaining the bracers and actually giving them golden spikes this time around. The helmet even retains the white stripes that go on her ox buns, and they even retain the dress and actually add a really cool chest piece to it and giving it that awesome golden phoenix. On top of that, I love how blue, gold, and white just pop so well with this design. I love the amount of detail and effort they put into this suit just for this one-off crossover. Seeing this actually makes me want to check out the game and finally watch Power Rangers or something. As of now, this is the best crossover design we've ever gotten for the character, and I'd love to see more. Finally, after all of this time, at number 7, we're looking at the base design from Street Fighter 6. Now, I love this one a lot, and I think it's a wonderful evolution of the character. Now, there are some elements that are maintained from the Street Fighter 2 look with some minor tweaks here and there. Her Kipao now resembles a Shang Tsung with pale blue as the primary color, and I love how one sleeve is blue and the other is white. I'm also a big fan that they changed the leggings from being brown to being a deeper blue, and I'm also a big fan that they retained the ox horns from her base design. Just visually, I like how this one tells a story. When we saw Chun-Li with her base look of Street Fighter 2, it looked like she was a warrior. Now this time around, she's instructing several other people. It's like she turned into the master. This design clearly shows that, and I love that for this reason. On top of that, I think it's just a wonderful design overall. Of all the ways they could have reinvented the character, especially in a modern day, this is one of the best ways you could have done it. Let's keep looking at Street Fighter 6 designs for number 6 as we look at the newest costume for Chun-Li, this being the swimsuit outfit. Now, if you ask me, I feel this is one of the best ways you can adapt a classic Chun-Li design and turn it into a one-piece bathing suit. No, I'm totally not going gooner here. I actually spoke with a lot of people at Ozoku-con, and they all thought this is a wonderful way to translate it. For one, it still retains the ox bun that she has, paired with blue floral hair pieces that just really bring it all together. I even like how they recreated the pattern of her Street Fighter 2 design, putting it onto the suit, with the addition of a gold chain belt with floral charms. I even like how it opens up the suit in certain spots, giving it like a sexy appeal, not feeling too over the top. It may be less revealing than the vacation or swimsuit ones of Street Fighter 5, but I think this is a better way to create a suit for a Street Fighter character, maintaining elements that make the character feel unique but adapting it into a suit. For those reasons, this is why it's placed so high, easily splashing into number 6. We are finally spinning bird kicking into the top 5, looking at her alternate costume from Street Fighter 4, the battle outfit. Now, I like how this changes up a lot from the Chun-Li design we're used to. This time around, it consists of a black sleeveless evening gown with gold accents at the bottom. Personally, black and gold just really pop a ton with this one, and I also love the black and gold sash held by a red rope-like belt. Along with that, the red shoes are a nice touch to this. Once again, black, gold, and red look so amazing in this design. Capping it all off, I love the black and gold bracelets and the golden earrings. It's a great way to shake up the Chun-Li design, and it's a good way to make it look sexier. And I think it was a great call to retain the ox buns in this one. Many people consider this to be the best alternate Chun-Li design, and I can see where they're coming from. It does a lot of new things, but at the same time retains some Chun-Li elements. Now, if you were to ask me which battle suit I like more, then we would have to go to number 4 with the Street Fighter 5 version of the battle suit. I like this one so much more, even if the changes are very minor. For one, I like how she ditches the ox buns and her hair is just down and it gets to flow a lot during the combat. Along with that, she has a red tassel clipping her gold sash wrapped around her waist with white flat shoes instead. And to cap it all off, she now has white and gold spiked bracelets, something retained from her base look of Street Fighter 4. I'm a big fan of this design making black and gold the base colors, but having red and white be wonderful accents to this design. This just goes to show that making a couple of minor tweaks can go a very long way. Taking the bronze medal is the final Street Fighter 5 exclusive design, the Capcom Pro Tour costume. Sure, this has a lot of elements that Covert Operations has, but the Capcom Pro Tour is the mega evolution of that. Now rocking a beautiful scarlet cut dress, retaining the brown leggings from her base design, and some heels. This time around they change up her hair and give her a tied ponytail. The boa is now more detailed with a lot more feathers as it weighs on her shoulder. Put all of this together and you get one of the coolest takes of Chun-Li. I'm also a big fan of the pattern going down the front of the dress, and I even love the gold bracelets she has on this one. This design is clearly doing a quarter circle forward kick, as it Hayakura kicks a lot of ass. This easily earns the bronze medal. Our runner-up goes to the most iconic Chun-Li design, this being the base design introduced in Street Fighter 2. Yeah, this is the Chun-Li design, and yeah, it's that wonderful, honestly. I can understand why they didn't alter this one that much from title to title, and I can see why this was the base go-to outside of a couple of titles. She's rocking her blue iconic kipao with gold accents, some awesome white combat boots, brown leggings, and her iconic spiked bracelets. Yeah, it's fair to say that every single design that we've looked at borrows elements from this costume. And in the game that she was introduced in, either you had characters wearing tight leggings or they were wearing karate gis. Chun-Li is the one character that visually stands out with a very colorful costume and beautiful looking battle dress. This stands the test of time and it just looks wonderful. I'd argue and say that this design is probably the most recognizable Street Fighter design. Guarantee you go to a convention and you see someone wearing this design, and if you barely know anything about Street Fighter, you're probably gonna go, oh, it's the one chick from Street Fighter. That's the wonderful charm that this costume has. I also think it just looks absolutely wonderful and the colors definitely pop. I absolutely love this design, but it's not my favorite Chun-Li design, as I think one other game did her base design slightly better. But I can't deny how amazing this costume is. For its impact and how it's been used as a base for every other Chun-Li design, easily nabs it the silver medal. But coming in at the top spot is the one that many of you probably saw coming, and that's Chun-Li's design from Street Fighter Alpha. The first time I saw this design, I immediately fell in love with it. Whereas the suit that she wore in Street Fighter 2 resembled the country she comes from, this I feel like streamlines it and makes it more of like an athletic fit suit, still representing the base design. This time around she's wearing an embroidered vest, a unitard with some athletic shoes. Instead of the spiked bracelets, they're now studded. And after doing research on this video, turns out the vest actually draws upon real Hong Kong style martial arts uniforms that became prevalent after the migration of Chinese martial arts from the mainland upon the Moist Cultural Revolution in the 1960s. So yeah, not only did they pull from something from the real world, they adapted it in a really cool way to make it feel like Chun-Li too, primarily with the color palette. You can tell that the fans love this design because when they started introducing alternate costumes in other Street Fighter and crossover games, this was the alternate costume. Also, Capcom, if you're listening to this, please put this in Street Fighter 6. But yeah, even when it went to Ozoku-Con recently, a lot of people said that this was their favorite design. What is Chun-Li's best design?
If I had to be straight up, outside of the classic Chinese dress, probably her Alpha.
I'm gonna have to go with, off the top of my head right now, I have to choose one. I'm gonna go with her costume from the Alpha series.
What is the best Chun-Li design?
Oh yeah, Street Fighter Alpha, hands down.
What is the best Chun-Li design? Honestly, this design kicks a lot of ass. I guess if you could say of all 38 Chun-Li designs, this one's the alpha. And for all of those reasons, that's what makes this the best Chun-Li design of all time. And there you have all 38 of Chun-Li's designs ranked from the worst to the best. Which one of them was your favorite and which one of them was your least favorite? Be sure to comment down below and let's have a fun discussion about it, shall we? I've been wanting to cover more non-Mortal Kombat characters on All Costumes Ranked, and I thought the best way to start off the Street Fighter franchise was with probably their most iconic character being Chun-Li. If there are any other characters outside of the Mortal Kombat universe, let me know who I should cover. It would be a fun time. And speaking of mentioning Mortal Kombat, we are going to be closing out Mortal Kombat 1 with one more dedicated ranking, that being all finishers ranked. So come back next time as we're going to be ranking all of the fatalities from that game to finally close out Mortal Kombat 1. Again, a big thank you to you for checking out this video. Your support truly means a ton. My name is Nick, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.